What is the primary function of hemoglobin? Transport oxygen. Which part of the brain is responsible for processing visual information? Occipital lobe. What structure in the cell is responsible for producing energy? Mitochondria. Which bone forms the forehead? Frontal bone. Which type of blood vessel has the thickest walls? Arteries. What is the function of platelets in the blood? Clot blood. Which part of the nervous system controls involuntary actions? Autonomic nervous system. What is the main function of the respiratory system? Exchange gases. Which muscle is known as the calf muscle? Gastrocnemius. What structure carries urine from the kidneys to the bladder? Ureter. What part of the eye controls the amount of light that enters? Iris. Which gland is known as the master gland? Pituitary. What is the main function of the spleen? Filter blood. Which part of the ear is responsible for balance? Semicircular canals. Which type of blood cell is involved in fighting infections? White blood cell. What is the anatomical term for the breastbone? Sternum. What part of the brain is responsible for speech production? Broca's area. Which blood vessels return blood to the heart? Veins. Which organ is responsible for producing bile? Liver. Which bone is part of the axial skeleton? Vertebra. What is the largest muscle in the human body? Gluteus maximus. What is the function of the thymus gland? Produce T cells. Which chamber of the heart pumps oxygenated blood to the body? Left ventricle. What part of the brain is responsible for regulating sleep? Hypothalamus. What structure in the respiratory system is known as the windpipe? Trachea. Which type of joint is found in the thumb? Saddle. What is the primary function of the lymphatic system? Fight infections. Which type of cell is responsible for breaking down bone tissue? Osteoclast. What is the primary function of the pancreas? Produce insulin. Which structure in the cell is responsible for protein synthesis? Ribosome. What is the function of the gallbladder? Store bile. Which muscle group is located at the front of the thigh? Quadriceps. Which part of the brain is responsible for emotional regulation? Amygdala. What type of bone is the patella? Sesamoid bone. Which organ is responsible for regulating metabolism? Thyroid. What is the function of the alveoli in the lungs? Exchange gases. What part of the eye focuses light on the retina? Lens. What is the primary function of the urinary bladder? Store urine. What type of muscle is found in the digestive tract? Smooth muscle. Which organ produces digestive enzymes and bicarbonate? Pancreas. Which part of the skeleton includes the skull, vertebral column, and rib cage? Axial skeleton. Which bone is part of the appendicular skeleton? Humerus. Which part of the brain is responsible for reasoning and decision-making? Frontal lobe. Which type of joint is found between the bones of the skull? Suture. What is the main function of the red bone marrow? Produce blood cells. Which part of the digestive system is primarily involved in water absorption? Large intestine. What is the primary function of the endocrine system? Regulate body functions. Which part of the brain is involved in processing auditory information? Temporal lobe. What is the primary function of the excretory system? Remove waste. Which organ is part of the excretory system? Kidneys. What type of joint is found in the hip? Ball and socket. Which type of joint is found in the shoulder?